unless you're on the West Coast, I guess. Just make sure we're up and running. We're up and running here. Oh, look, I'm all ahead, huh? There we go. Thank you so much for telling me. Oh my God, Reagan, you saved the day. Thank you so much, Reagan. I've been talking to you, responding to you, and there's no telling how long I would have been doing my stream today. Thank you so much. You're a lifesaver for being there today. Because not always somebody's always in chat as soon as I start, literally the second. And I'm glad I have Twitch up because Kate told me I should. You literally saved the day, Reagan. I mean, you saved me for sure, probably like 10, 15 minutes of talking to a mute mic. Yeah, so let me repeat everything I said. Happy Wednesday, March 11th. I hope everybody's having a beautiful Wednesday, beautiful afternoon, or whatever time of day it is in the part of the world you're in. What time is it right there, in Kenya, Reagan? But so yes, the topic is, as you see, is a man without a goal is like a ship without a rudder, which is actually a very personal topic for me. Or in Kenya, it is evening 20:57, which is 8:57 if I'm not mistaken, correct? So about to be 9 o'clock. Well, good evening. I hope you're having a wonderful, blessed evening, Reagan. I'm talking about the importance of having goals today. I don't know why I just got a little accent, like an African accent in my tone when I said hi to Reagan. But what's up? Yeah, the topic is goals. Like most people think you love the topic. Awesome. You're gonna love the stream. Because the reality is most people think they're stuck in life, right? Everybody's like, oh, I'm stuck, at this dead-end job. I'm stuck with, in this relationship. I'm stuck in this situation and I can't move. You nailed the accent, right? You like that? That's funny. But yeah, most people, they're not stuck. They're just literally spinning their freaking wheels. Like, they're like a mouse. It's funny because I was at Petco yesterday after I had ice cream, and we saw these little mice, and they sell them there, these little red-eyed mice, just to feed the snakes that they have right at the aisle over. So, but there was like one mouse, he was just like running on the wheel like nonstop. I'm like, is he working out, or does he not realize he's not getting nowhere? And then I'm like, well, there's people like that in real life that are doing literally the exact same thing, just like the mouse. But because they're not a mouse on the wheel, it's okay. They're doing the exact same action in essence. But because it's not an orange wheel and it's not a mouse with red eyes, because it's a white lady driving an SUV, you know what I mean, and has 3 kids, it's okay. Or it's a, white guy. It doesn't matter. It's just a person that's like stuck in a position that they're stuck in by choice because they haven't decided or made a decision or planned. Wait, they are some mouse with red marks? No, they have red eyes. I mumble a lot. So there was mice with red eyes. They all had like red eyes. They're little mice, and they were there to feed the snakes at the store here in in my city. We went to the store last night after eating ice cream, and we looked at some snakes. They had like all kind of ball pythons, and they had like all kind of ball pythons. But and then they had mice, live mice. Oh, like on drugs, danger. Yeah, kind of like on drugs. But it was a bunch of little white mice running around. And now I gotta show you, man. Now I gotta show you. And I'm way off topic talking about mice, but I'm gonna get right back on topic, guys. I'm gonna get back on topic. Mice used to feed. Yeah, right here, these little guys. So let me show you. 1 second, please.
Today, however, is a little different. It has something to do with reptiles, but just something I or we have been experimenting with.
And
we have 6 snakes, a caiman, and a tegu. Things that will eat mice.
yeah, we need to hear on this. Yeah, but look, his don't have red eyes. I don't know why. These are different. His have like black eyes. Ours had, well, not ours. The ones we saw. I don't know if it's the video. Hold on. Why do mice have red eyes? Yeah. Mice have red eyes primarily due to albinism. Yeah, it was, look, see these right here. It was a bunch of these mice. And anyways, off the mice now. And back to the topic. Let me fix this. Back to Reddit. Yeah, it's crazy. So people are like mice. I was a mouse right there, because they don't make a plan on where they want to go. So think about a ship without a rudder, right? And if you don't know, a rudder is the little flat piece at the back that helps the ship steer in the back. So, you know, like, and not all of them have it now, but how about this? Yeah, I should have had my prop ready. What am I? It's my fault, guys. I'm sorry. Ship rudder. So, what is a ship rudder, right? It is that thing. Right? So, boom. If you don't have that, let me see, where's Siri? Yeah, if you don't have a rudder, how the hell are you going to get anywhere? So your ship, now the funny thing is, if you don't have a rudder, your ship can still go. It can still move. The engine still works. Or let's say it's a sailboat. You still have sails. So the ship is still going, right? But the only person that knows that it's not, like, doesn't have a rudder is the captain. So whoever is in charge of the ship. So that being, in our comparison, that's you, right? So if you don't have a rudder, if you don't have a goal, you're going somewhere. It looks like you're going somewhere. And to everybody else from the outside looking in, they don't know. You know, like, just in motion, it looks like you're moving, you know? Just like a ship, you would see a ship, it's moving, but you have no clue that it doesn't have a rudder underneath the water, you know? Just like you don't know if a person has goals underneath them, but it's okay, because we're going to talk about how to set goals in a second, and, you know, I got you. I wouldn't just tell you about an issue and not how to fix it, you know? So, and that's exactly how a lot of people's lives are. Like I said, they work hard, they stay busy, they wake up every day, they move, they go through the motions, and they feel like they don't get anywhere. So goals matter for a couple of reasons. But there's reasons why people fail at them. Why do people fail at goals? And then, like I said, we'll talk about how to actually set them. Yes, I'm looking at notes. No, you can't look at them. Amen. Like, so we already talked about all this. What happens to a ship with no steering? It drifts wherever the current pushes it. I don't really go off the notes. Many people are working hard, it says, but they're not actually steering anywhere. Yes. Bottom line is, now, why we need goals? Because, I mean, it's as simple as, like, if I have to, it's really like a ship without a rudder. So why would a ship need a rudder? Right? Because you need to know where you're, like, how to get to where you're going, right? You need to be able to have an ability to get to where you're going. And having the goal is actually having the ability. So if you don't have a goal, you also have to, after you have a rudder, after you have the ability to get to a destination, you also have to set a destination too. Because if you have the ability, that's even worse. If you have the ability to set a goal and you're not setting goals like the proper way, that's even worse. That means you have a rudder. So like if you're capable, and I'm guilty of it to a certain degree too, so I'm going to be keeping myself accountable, but I'm talking about like written goals. I mean, I do, y'all seen, I have, like, I have my YouTube subscriber goal written up there, and a little, actually, no, I think that was on a different stream that I showed, and I don't even know if it was on the day stream. So I have, and this is not just today, this has been up there for 6 days, 7 days. It says 100 YouTube subs. I don't know if you could see it. Let me see on OBS. Can you see it? Where is OBS? Oh, you can't see. There you go. So I know what to do. I got you. Watch this. Look at that. So you see what it says? It says to do 100 YouTube subs. And then it has a little, like a thermometer to get to 100 subs. So, and it's important to have it written for a lot of reasons. Like, if you don't have it written, you could think, well, I don't need to, I know I want to get subs, right? Like subscriptions or whatever it is. And your goal could apply to anything. It obviously doesn't have to be what I have it. But you would think, like, why the hell do I need to write down that I want to get 100 subscribers? I want to get 1 million, obviously, you know. And there's another thing. We'll get to that too, like why you have to set goals in stages. You can't just set a random goal, you know, that makes no sense, because that's actually worse also than, you got to be careful, because if you set the wrong type of goal, and we'll talk about how not to do that, then it can actually be more detrimental than not setting a goal. So you also got to be careful with setting goals. But without a goal, like, motivation fades. Oh, and what's another really good point is, like, you know, you would think, well, why would I make goals? You know, like, I'm doing fine, like, I'm doing good enough without them, right? So I guarantee you, out of everybody that's listening, there's probably, if anybody, probably nobody writes down their goals. Probably nobody that is listening. And if I'm wrong, comment. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think anybody writes down their goals daily, because I know the results of that, and like basically what happens when people do, like, people achieve crazy things just from writing down their goals daily, which is crazy. But so my point is, you're already using the same effort by not writing your goals, right? So you're still going through the motions and stuff. Writing your goals would only take you, what, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, once you figure out, like, especially, like, I'll go through how to write correct goals today, like by criteria and stuff. Once you know how to set your goals, it'll take you, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes the first time. But compared to the 24 hours you're spending anyways, your 24 hours will become 10 times, your time will be spent at least twice as efficiently. I want to say 10 times, But that's like, but it almost is 10 times actually. So just by having your goals, destination set, your actions in themselves subconsciously, every action that you do will be aligned with your goal and in getting there. And it's like you can't even like help it. So why most people avoid goals? Because they're afraid they're gonna make write a goal and then they're gonna fail. So they're like, oh shit, if I don't set a goal, then I can't fail. That kind of goes back to embarrassment, being the cost of entry. That's like, what? Why would you be scared? Like, I mean, who cares if you fail? And you can't fail. If you set a goal and you do anything towards it, you already didn't fail because you already achieved whatever you did towards that goal. So, I mean, why? I challenge everybody listening to set, and then not yet. Don't set the goal yet. Now, don't get ahead of yourselves because you don't even know how to do it right yet. But I'm gonna teach you. I got you. That's what I'm here for. Yeah, people also don't have clarity a lot of times. They don't even know what they want. So they're like, goal. What the hell? Why would I need a goal? I just want to survive. I want to eat. I want to watch TV, go shopping, go outside, do activities, whatever it is people do. Why would I change what I'm doing? I'm already comfortable. Why would I start a new activity of writing a goal? What? I don't need a goal. Or maybe you're just not aiming high enough or believe in yourself enough, which you should, because when people feel, I'm sorry, Reagan, I just realized you've been on the side. I'm going to put you right here in front of me because I've been ignoring the chat the whole time because it wasn't in front of me. I forgot all about it because my memory is that bad. So when people fear, I'm going to read all your things. Share your YouTube name. I subscribe. It's the same as here, Reagan. Write down goals helps solidify them, makes them more tangible. Yeah, I'm so sorry I've been missing your chat, Reagan. When people fear failure, tell them to focus on taking small steps forward instead of worrying about the end result. Yes, 100%. Progress over perfection, right? Yes, I love it, Reagan. You're 100% right. 1,000,000%. Yes. Oh, sorry, Reagan. Yeah. 1 second. So, yeah, ignored. I'm sorry, I just ignored my friend from freaking Kenya because the chat OBS is small and it's on this side and I'm over here talking about rudders and why it's important to have a rudder, and then why after you have a rudder, why it's important to know where to steer that rudder. And my friend Reagan over here getting ignored. I forgot. I'm writing a message to him because I think he didn't realize, he thought I was just ignoring him. So I'm saying, sorry, my memory is so bad. I forgot about the chat. All right, back to topic. What is going on? Sorry. Tell them to embrace the 2-minute rule. If a task is scary, just commit to doing it for 2 minutes. Often getting started is the hardest part. Yes, 100%. So this is also, yes, a lot of people, but you can't take down a mountain or, by taking down the mountain one at a time. You know, you got to take pebble at a time, like he's saying. It's people, you know, like, so people are afraid to set goals because they have a lack of clarity. Goals require change, discomfort, you know what I mean? So people around you might not be aiming high enough, you know what I mean? But let's see, yeah, Reagan's right. It's okay. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to put the chat up here, and I mean, I could share my notes. Why not share my notes, right? Reagan, hold on. I share my notes for what I'm talking about. It just makes sense, actually. Boom. And then we go to Reddit. So we do one of these. All right. So drifting versus navigating life. So, oh no, why most people avoid goals. So this is what we were talking about. And then, no, why humans need goals. So what they said, right, we already talked about this. Drifting versus navigators. Oh yeah, so there's two types of people. And this is my whole thing about challenging people and me saying that probably most people are navigators. Reagan, do you write down your goals? Tell them to reframe failure as feedback. Yeah, it's like a learning experience, right? It's never a loss, it's a learn. Right. Any action is better than no action. So there's a book called Failing Forward, Reagan, I believe is what you're talking about. So as long as you creating some kind of action, you're actually getting closer to your successful, you know, or your goal ultimately. Reagan, do you write your goals? I want to know. I'll take that back. I'll say about 10% of people write their goals, maybe. That's not fair for me to not give credit like that. Maybe 20% even. I'm an asshole for saying that earlier. And that nothing's changed my mind. He hasn't responded yet, but now that I think about it, I'm like, oh no, people are, maybe not every day, but you know, at least once a week. That's still better than not writing down your goals, but daily is really where it's at. Yes, I do write every morning. No way. Send me a picture. I want to see proof. Well, no, I'm just kidding. That is awesome. That is amazing. How old are you, Reagan? Yes, I do write everything morning. I don't know. I mean, I believe you, though. Reagan is in Kenya, and I believe you. Here in America, we have it too cushy. We don't need to write down goals. We can just cruise through life, be navigators. Instead of being navigators, we're drifters. So yeah, it's true. There's two types of people. There's drifters, people just you know, spinning their wheels basically, and then there's people that navigate, like they're going somewhere. They pick a direction, and their energy that's being spent is being spent to get to that goal, to that, you know, end place, whatever it is. I don't care if it's cleaning your room. If my goal is cleaning my room, I'm a navigator. I'm cleaning that fucking room, and I'm be done with it as fast as possible. You know, I'm not just gonna, oh, all right, you know, like, oh, no, whatever I'm doing, like, I'm working on that. I'm sending my energy towards that in that moment and getting that out of the way, and then on to the next thing. Does that make sense? I'm not letting anything slow me down. No distractions, no, you know, no. Because also, there's a way I view myself and a standard I hold myself to. And if I don't live up to it, to myself, I feel ashamed. And I don't know, I wasn't always like that when I was younger. In Kenya, without support or connection, you sail in poverty. I'm just 19. That's awesome, Reagan. You're the man. You are the man. Yes, I do write everything every morning. He's 19 in Kenya without support or connection. You sail in poverty. I don't know what that. I'm not sure I understand what that means. You sail in poverty. You end up in poverty without support or connection. Oh, unless you have support or connection, you're going to be poor. I get it. Sorry, Reagan. I told you sometimes I operate slow. You know, you see the accent came in a little bit again, but that was like a Jamaican accent. Navigators decide where they want to go. They adjust course when necessary. Right. If my goal is to go this direction and I get knocked off into this direction, I'm not gonna just not readjust. I'm gonna stop, readjust, and then keep going back towards my goal. So let's say my goal is a number, right? To reach a number, let's say a financial goal. And we'll get to specifics on how to set it and all that. But if I don't reach that goal, right, and I get knocked back, so my progress gets knocked back or reversed, I take steps back, that doesn't mean I'm gonna basically do the math and be like, damn, I gotta make that up to get to my goal. Does that make sense? So let's use round numbers. If I was trying to get to 10 and I'm working my way up, I got 2, 3, 4, 6, I'm up to 7, and then boom, I get knocked back down to 4, right? So I got knocked down 3. I'm not gonna say I still only need 3 because I was trying to get to 10, right? And I was already at 7. No, I'm gonna adjust. I'm gonna say, damn, I got knocked back down to 4, so now I gotta get 6 to get to my 10, my original 10, right? So I'm readjusting like my actions. Because before, so now I technically have to get, you're collecting, let's say, you're going back now from 4 to 10. So now you got to get 6 more. So you got 6. So, and the 3 got knocked down. So you technically collected 13 of, these units that we're talking about. But since you got knocked back down 3, like you lost that 3, you know what I mean? So you still only got to 10. I hope that makes sense. I know it makes sense to me, and if you listen back to it, it will for sure make sense. It might not make sense the first time as far as the numbers, but it definitely makes sense. That makes sense, Reagan? Number-wise, what I meant? I'm waiting on this answer quietly, patiently. Like you stayed down with someone standing with you. Like you stayed down without someone standing with you. Like you stayed down without someone standing with you. Yes, exactly. But the power of direction. So the whole reason you want to have goals is because if a ship leaves, yeah, we know that. Life works the same way. Small daily actions compound. Right. So the earlier you set direction, the bigger the long-term impact. Correct. So types of goals that matter. Outcome goals. The final destination example. Make 100 grand. Lose 30 pounds. Before what this says, the whole reason to have goals is because when you have a clear vision of what you want to achieve, your subconscious mind and your body and the universe around you will slowly work to achieve whatever it is that you're picturing. But you have to have a goal and you have to have a destination. Because if you don't, you're just drifting and you're like a ship that's just spinning in circles. Or even if you're not spinning, you're like doing big figure eights and then, you just drift around and you might end up at a port somewhere, You might end up in Aruba, but you also might end up in New Zealand, or like in Iceland or Greenland, or in the South. You might be trying to go to the Bahamas and you end up in the North Pole because you got no rudder. That wouldn't be good. That would definitely not be good. But Right. So some track progress. We don't need this. So now having, first of all, you want to have 3 different types of goals. So look, I'm not even going off these notes. I'm gonna go like this. You want to have, because my mind is better than ChatGPT. You want to have 3. Oh, well, actually, it might be 3 types of goals. Obviously, long, short, or mid, and short term. Your goals should be defined. So there's a different acronyms. Actually, here we go. I got an image for you guys. Image. Yes. Browse. And I put it right here. So look at that. So you have, this is really, SMART goals is the main one. Like, I really not familiar with other stuff, but having SMART goals, like, the most important part this year is specific. Your goals have to have specifics, and they have to be measurable, right? Because if you just set a goal that's like out in La La Land and it doesn't have like a clear marker of where the finish line is, then how do you know when you reach your goal? Right? So it has to be achievable. Right. And this is another part. So, you know, this is where dream big and, you know, think big has to be kind of checked a little bit. You still want to dream big and you still want to aim high, but you also want to make it achievable, right? If I say I want to have 1 million subscribers by the end of next week, is it possible? Yeah, I'm sure somehow it's possible, but is it likely? No. And then if it doesn't happen, or if I'm not like, it's like, if I'm serious about it, like if I actually think that's a good goal, you know, like, and I'm like, yeah, I got to think big. I'm going to do it. And then I don't achieve it, I'm going to be crushed, right? So, or like halfway through it, I'm going to be like, damn, I'm only at 6. How the hell am I going to get to 1 million? I'm going to be like, you know, screw this goal. This is bullshit. Dmitriy told me write goals. He's an idiot. Why the hell would I do this? Well, that's because you're an idiot. Me being Dmitriy that wrote a goal that was, you know, not reachable. So yes, I get it. I advised myself, and I was also the person in the skit and all that. I get it. I played every character, like Eddie Murphy, and you get the picture. All right, SMART goals. They got to be relevant. Choose a goal that aligns with your bigger picture, priorities, and long-term vision, which is true. And then time bound. That goes back to being specific. So we're going to stick to specific. So time, goal date, end date, goal date, or right, like you state. All right. And then, all right, I'm just thinking if we can close it. Achievable, make sure the goal is realistic and doable with the resources and time you have. Measurable, identify how you will track progress and know when you reach the goal. Correct. Define exactly what you want to accomplish as much as detail as possible. Correct. So let's do a, we want to raise or birth 100 chickens, right? Or hatch 100 eggs. Is that what you would call it? Hatch 100 eggs. Right? I'm not just going to say, if I don't like know how to hatch eggs and I don't have like a, mass egg hatchery, I'm not just gonna do it. Or let's say hatch 10,000 eggs, better yet, right? I'm not just gonna do it by having 100 chickens, right? I'm like, damn, that's a lot of eggs. So what I'm gonna have to, first of all, I would have already done this, but you need to figure out how much effort you could put towards your goal. So let's say I know I can produce 1,000 eggs a week, right? And then how long would it take? So you multiply it by 10,000, and then, so yeah, 10 weeks. You take today's date, and then you put your end date. I mean, it's pretty simple, right? You put your end date however long out, but you plan it out. Am I making sense? I didn't write everything else. So a week, right? So let's say we need to hatch 10,000 eggs, correct? Able to hatch 1,000 eggs. Oh, geez, you guys can't see anything. What is that? Like that. There we go. I just realized you guys haven't been seeing this the whole time. So, yeah, 3 types of goals: long, mid, short, specific. Goal date: need to hatch 10,000 eggs, right? If you're able to hatch, let's say 1,000 eggs a week, then you're gonna need 10 weeks for your goal. So if today's March 11th, we go to our calendar. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So May 20th. We know if we want to hatch 10,000 eggs, we know that our goal at the earliest can be May 20th, right? Because we can only hatch 1,000 eggs a week. Now, what are my options if I want to, let's say I'm like, damn, I want these 1,000 eggs, but I want them earlier. Like, I can't wait till May 20th. I need these eggs now. I can't sit around and just, produce 1,000 eggs a week. Then you look at how you can raise your production. You know what I mean? Is there ways that you can either, in this case, get more chickens? I mean, whatever it is. If it's business, it's, where you could save money, that you're losing money, or where you can bring in more revenue. If it's a relationship, it's how you can be more like what your partner is looking for and less like what they don't like. Or, and it doesn't even have to be like a romantic relationship. It could be a familial, like a family relationship. Like if everybody has relationships with their parents, with their sisters, siblings, friends, if you know that this person feels a certain type of way about you doing something, then, and you want to please this person, maybe actually, think about doing less of that, around that person. So I don't know how I got way off topic to that, but to hatch 1,000 eggs, you figure out how you can, if you want before May 20th, you say, damn, well, how do I hatch 2,000 eggs a week, right? And you're like, well, maybe it's going to cost me an extra, whatever. You do the math, and then you adjust your goal. So if you want your goal earlier, you figure out how to raise your production, But you also, your goal has to be measurable, and it has to be specific. If not, if it's just like, oh, I want to hatch eggs. Well, that's like, yeah, you'll hatch eggs, but how many? Who knows? For what? Who knows? Like, and yeah, they're just silly. So back to, so does that make sense? But after we're done with the eggs, right? So then you obviously have short term. What's long term? Long term is 10 years, 10 to 20 years out, Where do you see yourself 10 plus years out? We'll just say 10 plus. That's a long-term goal. But that can still be specific, And that's something that you could, if you do it right, you would write at the top of your goal list every day that you're not going to really work on much progress or do much daily. You know what I mean? Like maybe once every couple of years, you might like mark something towards that goal. Like, oh shit, because it's going to be a result of like a compounding result of your other goals below it, because they should all be aligned and going in the same direction. So midterm goals, that's really 2 to 5 years. And then short term can be anywhere from 6 months to 2 years. That's a short term goal. And really, realistically, you should have always at least one bare minimum, but preferably 2 or 3 short-term goals. Or better yet, maybe, let me correct, I would say, yeah, a couple, if you have a couple of midterm goals, say 2, let's say you have a couple, get 2. Get you 1. Get 1. Forget 2. That's asking for too much. Make yourself 1 goal. I challenge y'all, and you don't have to share it. Just do it. I said earlier, post, blah, blah. You don't have to post. Forget it. Just do it. Do it for yourself. And then, so 1 midterm goal, 2 to 5 years, and then short-term goals. Get yourself 2 goals that are going to take you. It could be fitness. It could be lose 5 pounds. It doesn't have to be something crazy. It doesn't have to be something drastic. But make a goal. Make a target. Shit, it could be anything. It could be, get my license updated. Goal date 1 month. Because you've been fucking sitting on it for 6 months or a year, Get my taxes done that I missed. Get my taxes done. I need to get my shit done for this year. I haven't even done that. I need to put that on my damn goal list, huh? But I do. I bet you if I had that shit written down every day, I bet you would have been done already if I was writing it down since the day that I was able to file my taxes. I bet you would have been done. And watch, from now on, I'm going to start writing my goals in the beginning of each episode until episode 100. And this is for my own self. I don't care about if 0 people watch this. I'm going to have my goals at the beginning of the show, and I'm going to show them. So, boom. So anybody that wants to do it along with me, do it at home. You don't have to show it to me. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. Do it. I challenge you to do it yourself. I'll share mine. And if anybody wants to share later on, whatever, that's cool. I would appreciate it. But if not, yeah, that's not at all the motivating factor. You should still do it. And then specific, yeah, we talked about how to set specific goals. And then, yeah, just make them realistic, like, because again, you don't want to be self-defeating. Now, what we're here for, Dmitry, questions, Reddit. So yeah, goals are fucking freaking important. I still didn't fully curse. Goals are really, really important. And I promise you, if you start writing goals and you do this challenge with me, I'm literally like, I just made that up. I wasn't planning on that. I just know how important goals are and like what results I've gotten before from writing them down when I was younger. And I know what result they'll have. So that's why like I'm literally doing it to hold myself accountable because I know it'll be good for me. So, but I say you do the same thing along with me, so you also get positive benefits from it. You're gonna waste the energy anyways to do things. Why not make it measured? Why not make it structured? How you spend your time, structure it. Direction, structure where you're going. Goals provide those critical things. Without a goal, your motivation is gonna fade. You're not gonna feel like doing shit. Because guess what? When you have something to look forward to, and the goal is something to look forward to, like you have a concert coming up, or you have a thing with a friend that you're gonna hang out with that you enjoy spending time with, you're excited for that shit. Now, if it's like something like a dentist appointment, probably not as much, right? But it's still something you have to look forward to, and goals should be positive things, obviously. So give me 1 second. Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. I know it was a little longer than it should have been, but when somebody needs your time, they need your time, even if you're on live. I mean, I won't do that much, but this was a special situation. This person really needed me. It wasn't just, hey, what are you doing next weekend? Oh, nothing. Just hanging out, drinking beers. I don't drink beer. But yeah, so the difference in setting goals is you're going to spend the same effort, but you're going to get way better results if you actually set your goals. And yeah, don't be scared of failure. You know what I mean? Without action, there is no success. You gotta have action. So goals require change, which is fine. Avoiding goals doesn't remove risk. It just guarantees drift. That's another thing. Like, yeah, if you're like, oh, if I don't have to write goals, then I don't have to do extra things and fucking like do like all this like above and beyond, be above average. Like I just want to be average and shit. Well, then being average, you're just gonna drift. Damn. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. All right, so drifting versus navigating life. Yeah, don't be a fucking drifter. Be a navigator. I promise you, you will be glad you did. We're gonna do it together, right? I'm gonna share my goals with you guys. You don't have to share your goals with me, and you can make fun of me for failing my goals. One of my goals is gonna be fitness. I could already tell you, related. And I don't even know what the other goal would be. I know what the other goal would be. I'm gonna have some goals tomorrow. Y'all better have some damn goals written down. If not, I'm gonna make fun of you, even though I don't know who you are, and I'm not calling you out by name, but you know who you are. So that's you. That's in your mind if you're failing yourself. And don't run now. Like, oh, if I don't watch it, I don't have to set goals. Fuck this guy. You know, what the fuck? I gotta set goals now to watch a YouTube video? What the fuck is this? What the fuck does YouTube videos come with requirements? My videos come with requirements. Pouring insight out. But they come with great results, I promise. Process goals create results. So I'm trying to get you to do something that's going to be good for you. I promise you. Problem with vague goals. So the problem with the vague goals, if you just say, I want to be successful, why they need to be specific. So this, basically what this is saying, why they need to be specific and why, right, not measurable, not actionable. Exactly. Like we were talking about the eggs, how to produce the eggs. Better goals, grow my channel. But see, this is not even good enough. If I'm going to say grow my channel to 10,000 subscribers, by when? And what am I basing that off of? So let's say me, 10,000 subscribers. If I did that, okay, based on let's do the math. I'm down to do the math. So I've been doing this for 28 days because actually it's really, this is a measurable goal right here. So I've been doing this for 28 days, right? And I got, 60 subscribers. So that's 2 subscribers a day, right? So 10,000 divided by 2, what does that give us, guys? Who's with me? It gives us 5,000, right? Now, what does that mean? What's 5,000 mean? It means 5,000 days because we're getting 2 subscribers a day, right? So now, obviously, it could pick up. But if I want a guaranteed goal, if I know, if I can just continue doing what I've done so far, in 5,000 days, now we're going to divide that by 365. Now, divide that by 365, right? So now, where's the equal sign? Divide that by 365. Who's with me? Right? It's 13.698, right? And I did that in my head, but really what we need to do is 365 divided by 5,000. So we would go 365 divided by 5,000. No, we wouldn't. No, we wouldn't. It would be, we were right the first time. It would be 13 years and 0.7 months. So what's 0.7 months? Well, it's 0.7 of 12. So what's 0.7 of 12? Is 60%, or what? 12.7 7 of 12. Jeez. Anyways, it would be 8.4 months. So it would be 13 years and 8.4 months. Does that, because 0.7 of 12 is 8.4. So 13 years and 8.4 months. Now, what's 0.4 months? No, I'm just kidding. That would be a week. No, that would be a little bit under 2 weeks. Or like, yeah, a little bit under 2 weeks. Anyways, nobody's with me at this point. We're going to Reddit. Simple goal framework. We got it. Set your damn goals. Be up with me. Have your goals ready with me. We're doing goals starting tomorrow. So I got you. I know you can't see anything. I will help you out shortly. There we go. And there we go. All right. Am I overreacting? My husband's sleeping through my miscarriage after oh, wow, that's terrible. We're not reading that. All right. Am I overreacting to my separates wife's actions? What? Hi, all. Lots of history. We should have sorted before it got to this. Divorce looks likely. Sorry for my spelling and typing. But long story short, wife wanted space. Wedding ring off. She was already talking to another man and then planned to go visit him. Yeah, she's been cheating on you. That's what it's called. Adultery. Told me she was staying at a hotel, getting her bag blown out. He didn't say that part. Told me she was staying at a hotel, but then found out it was at his house. Yeah, hotel, right? 2 weeks before going, she goes on the pill and says it's for hormones. And you're a fucking idiot who believes it. Second visit planned a few months later, and when she returns, stops taking the pill. Am I overreacting in my assumption of cheating? No. I get could be innocent. No, this cannot be innocent. No, this cannot be innocent. Do you hear yourself? Do you hear yourself? Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now? Kidding me? Am I reacting to my assumption of cheating? This could be innocent, especially as she continues to talk to him, even though she knows I'm struggling hard with it, and she feels she has done nothing wrong, and it's a major driving force of the divorce. She doesn't give a fuck, but she also says I'm doing nothing to fix my problems. But when I mentioned I haven't had Christmas at my mom's for 9 years, it's turned around to her dad passing away. I have counseling to help me with these problems, and I'm waiting in list for my others. And waiting list for my others. What? Waiting list for what? What problems aren't you fixing? If she's problems aren't you fixing? She doesn't care. She doesn't care about your feelings and is blatantly cheating in your face, and lying to you because you're gullible enough to believe it. Because you are gullible enough to believe it. Idiot. No, this cannot be innocent. Do you hear yourself? Are you kidding me? What problems aren't you fixing? She doesn't care about your feelings and is blatantly cheating in your face and lying to you because you are gullible enough to believe it. Time. I know nothing about either of you to make a judgment or opinion on who's wrong. But I can't tell you, she playing you like a fiddle. A fiddle. Boom. Saving lives out here. No, this cannot be innocent. Do you hear yourself? Are you kidding me? What problems aren't you fixing? She doesn't care about your feelings and is blatantly cheating in your face and lying to you because you are gullible enough to believe it. I know nothing about either of you to make a judgment or opinion on who's wrong, but I can tell you she's playing you like a fiddle. She playing you. That was my ghetto coming out. She's playing you like a fiddle. Playing you like a fiddle. She playing you. She playing you. She playing you, player. Am I overreacting after finding out old messages on my girlfriend's phone? Let's see how long it is. I've been dating my current girlfriend for about 5 months now. We're both 20. I've only been in one relationship before her, and after the first couple of times meeting, I made it very clear who it was and that I had no contact with this person. She originally stated that she's never been in a real relationship. Fast forward a few weeks, and I'm prying a bit further. Every time I brought it up, she would deflect the conversation and be super. Why are you questioning her about her past? Why are you questioning her about her past? It's her past. It's her past. Focus on creating great present memories. I don't understand why people focusing. Any amount spent worrying about the past is wasted energy. Focusing on the past in any aspect is wasted energy. Even thinking about it in any aspect is wasted energy. You can't do anything about it. Energy. That's why like embarrassing, being embarrassed is also like temporary. Like whatever, fuck it. All right. Fast forward a few weeks ago. I'm prying a bit further. Yeah, he's prying. I'm sure he is. Mostly out of curiosity. I asked to go through her phone a few months in. Mostly you're a fucking weirdo, bro. You're a weirdo for asking to go through her phone. You're a weirdo for asking to go through her phone. The fuck are you doing, kid? Come on, Junior. All right. And she very quickly agreed. I found old messages and videos on Snap that were not safe for work. Snapchat shows how long ago she had interacted with these people, and it was well over a year. Well, exactly. What the fuck? The most recent thing I had found was about a month before we had met. To be honest, it is upsetting. I've done so much reflection, I don't know why. She did this stuff while she was saying. I don't know if it's the fact that she was putting us on, or the fact that she hasn't deleted those people yet. I had shown her she was very clearly forgotten who they existed, and I mainly said to delete and block them when found. It still says something wrong, and I think about it way too much. And every time I bring it up, she gets a little annoyed because it was in the past, and she just wants to move on with her life. Yes, you are way overreacting, you dumbass. Yes, you are way overreacting. Let's make sure he gets that. If she's a good girl, focus on that and enjoying your guys' time together. How you're harping on something that can't be changed one way or another. Whether she was right, wrong is indifferent. Whether she was right, wrong, any of it is irrelevant. It can't be changed. Can't be changed. Well, is irrelevant unless you aside from learning from it, is irrelevant. Whether she was right or wrong, any of it is irrelevant, aside from obviously learning from mistakes. Right? Yeah. Yes, you're way overreacting. If she's a good girl, focus on that and enjoy your guys' time together. You're harping on something that can be changed one way or another. Whether she was right, wrong, any of it is irrelevant, aside from obviously learning from mistakes. Why are you questioning her about her past? It's her past. Focus on creating great present memories. Focusing on the past in any aspect is wasted energy. You're a weirdo for asking to go through her phone, though. Yeah, I should say that at the end, though. You should stop that behavior. Especially it sounds like she's actually very faithful to you and trusting, and you have a potential of fucking it up by being overbearing. You have a potential of messing it up if you keep being overbearing. You're still good now. Just correct course and apologize if you were too hard. If you were too critical about it. Boom. Out here saving lives. All right, now I'm going to read it now like in parts. But I said, yes, you are way overreacting. If she's a good girl, focus on that and enjoy your guys' time together. I know I read it like 8 times, but I also have to reread it to make sure it's right. You are harping on something that can be changed one way or another. Whether she was right, wrong, any of it isn't relevant, aside from obviously learning from mistakes. Why are you questioning her about her past? It's her past. Focus on creating great present memories. Focusing on the past in any aspect is wasted energy. You're a weirdo for asking to go through her phone, though. You should stop that behavior. It sounds like she's actually very faithful to you and trusting, and you have a potential of messing it up if you keep being overbearing. You're still good now. Just correct course and apologize if you were too critical about it. Damn, I'm so fucking smart. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty smart, yo. Is that really arrogant of me to say? Is that wrong to be that arrogant? I apologize if it is. One second, please. Oh, not there. Why is it there? Over here. Thank you very much. How long have we been on, ladies and gents? This has been a great episode. Amazing episode, actually. An hour. Okay, we're about to get off shortly. This has been a great episode. So anybody who's missed it definitely is in for a treat to watch it back. Am I overreacting after finding old messages on girlfriend's phone? Yeah, you are, buddy. Let's see what notifications we got. We're going to get out of here. Go see your comment. Upvotes. Please read the question. My roommate is my sister. It's because you probably fucking made a confusing ass. Why the heck wasn't your mom's dog in your room to begin with? Ask Dmitriy on YouTube if you're... Please read the question. My roommate is my sister. Oh, well, what the fuck? You didn't make that clear. You didn't make that clear that your roommate is your sister, you dumb fuck. My roommate is my sister. She wants to take care of my mom's dog, who is also her mom. You did not make that clear. You did not make that clear. Did not make that clear. What the heck? What the heck? Yo, this little sly... I live... Oh. She must have updated this. She updated this. I live with my sister, and she kind of gets upset about how noisy it sounds when the upstairs neighbors are walking around. She said with my roommate. See, this was even posted at her little thing that she can't change is roommate. And I've heard creaking based on the sound. I'm sure that just walking is definitely not running. Having lived on the top floor of the same apartment, I know for a fact that there's certain spots on the floor. This shit said roommate. I live with my roommate. She was like, the whole thing was about, I might think my sister is overreacting about the neighbors making too much noise. It was my roommate that's overreacting. Can you change your titles? Am I tripping? Can you change your titles? I don't know. Maybe I could have been wrong. If she's having just walking. However, this like having your roommate brought your mom's dog over. Yeah, no, she said roommate everywhere, and then she changed the shit to sister. It should say roommate everywhere. I wouldn't have missed it like that. My mom went on vacation. I'm taking care of her dog. Blah blah blah. Let's see. Did she mention her roommate here anywhere? He was barking nonstop. That's the only reason she took him out of this crate. But she told her it's too late for him to be barking if she doesn't want him around. I also got irritable with her because she wanted to buy my treadmill and took it to her room. Would use it until my mom's dog peed on it. She brought it back out. Look, she says until she would use it until my mom's. Why would you say my mom's if it was your guy's mom's? You're referring to her as she, and then you say my mom's like possessive, like she's not. You a lying little bitch. This a lying little bitch right here. We gonna call her out. I also got irritated with her. Look at this shit right here. This little fucking scandalous. She thought she was gonna edit her fucking way to her lies out. We got this little scandalous scallywag. I also got irritable with her because she wanted to buy my treadmill and took it to her room. Would use it until my mom's dog peed on it. She brought it back out clean, but didn't even put it in the designated spot. Just left it on the floor for me to put it back, and she decided she didn't want it anymore. Exactly, you little bitch. And you said, yeah. You said, you little bitch. Why do I have to do this? Sorry for calling her a bitch, but that's a little bitch right there for doing this shit. Unless I'm the bitch for being wrong. You said I also got irritable with her because right. You say why? You say my mom, while talking about you and her, while talking about you and her. Because originally you claimed because originally you didn't tell us it was your sister. Originally, you say my mom while talking about you and her because originally you didn't tell us it was your sister. You didn't tell us it was your sister for some strange reason. You didn't tell us it was your sister for some strange reason. Oh yeah, because it makes sense that I guess the dog was in your sister's room. It doesn't look as bad or something. She's pulling some fucking trickery here, this little fucker. You say my mom while talking about you and her because originally you didn't tell us it was your sister. You didn't tell us it was your sister. Right. Otherwise you would have said our mom. Otherwise you would have said otherwise. You would have said our mom. So whatever, I don't know what your reason is for trying to hide your relationship to your roommate was initially, but either you're a fucking bot, you're AI is stupid. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. I love you all. I'm out of here. I'll see you